Good evening, everyone. If I could have you stand for the procession of the cadets. After the procession, we'll do the posting of the colors and the national anthem. How about a hand for our Richmond County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard? Cadets, you can be seated.
Good evening. I'm Dale McInnes. I'm president here at Richmond Community College. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all here tonight. What a great event for such an important program. On behalf of our board, our employees, all of our students, we want to welcome all of you here. To the family and friends, we thank you for your support of our students. Graduates, I know you appreciate the support you have. This is a hard program, and it takes a lot of time and commitment. Nobody can do it on their own. So thank all of you for being here. Let's give them a hand. I want to recognize and welcome all of our law enforcement officers from agencies across the region. If you're serving and protecting, please stand up so we can thank you for what you do for us. Please. Let's give them a big hand. I want to recognize and thank the faculty that helped teach these cadets and helped guide them, lead them, push them, and occasionally pull them across the finish line. We're proud of them. Some of the same people that just stood, I'm going to ask you to stand one more time for me. So if you taught in this program, please join me again. Thank you. Takes a lot of training, a lot of time, a lot of expertise to even be qualified to teach in this very important and critical program. And we're grateful for you, faculty, participating and supporting us from across the region. I also want to recognize, you just heard from him, Keith Thomas, the director of our program, who does a fantastic job every day. Cadets, join me in thanking Keith Thomas. It is now my pleasure to welcome and recognize our keynote speaker sitting next to Lieutenant Ephraim Davis. He's our dean of all of our programs involving business, IT, and public services. And she is Dr. Miriam Huntley. Give her a hand and let's thank her for her hard work. Lieutenant Ephraim Davis is with the Wadesboro Police Department, and he has been instrumental in supporting this program and supporting the success of these cadets. We're proud to have him here tonight as our graduation speaker. Lieutenant Davis, welcome.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you for attending this monumental occasion as our colleagues and loved ones celebrate their successful completion of the 2024 Basic Law Enforcement Training at Richmond Community College. As Dr. McGinnis mentioned, my name is Ephraim Davis, and I am just one part of a marvelous team of qualified assistants and lead instructors at Richmond Community College. I would like to start by just saying how honored I am to be afforded the opportunity to speak with tonight's graduates. So to Director Thomas and Dr. Miriam Huntley, Dr. McInnes, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to influence the young minds in law enforcement that will ensure the protection of our community. Thank you. So when the director came and talked to me about saying a few words at tonight's ceremony, I truthfully felt unprepared, and dare I say it, even unworthy. Director Thomas and I, we joked a bit, and he gave me 2 guidelines to go by in preparation for tonight. He said, now I know you like to talk, but you know you can't stay up there all night. So he was probably being serious, but I understood. Now, even more importantly than that, he told me to just speak from the heart. And so in line with that, I understand the eagerness to go celebrate with family and your loved ones, and that's what I want for you. So I promise I won't stand before you very long. So North Carolina, the state of North Carolina requires that any certified law enforcement officer be able to, at a minimum, successfully learn 600 plus hours of seated classroom material and be able to apply certain skill-based practical lessons. These 2024 graduates seated here have dedicated their blood, sweat, and tears in not just meeting but exceeding that standard. I can declare with absolute assurance that each one of these graduates seated here has earned their place, and I, for one, am honored to call them my brother and sister in blue. Over the course of the program, the graduates and I have had an opportunity to engage in a multitude of conversations. In those discussions, 2 main themes continued to be constant. One was about remaining consistent. And what I meant by that was the same zeal and passion that you start in this professional race, I intend for you to finish that race with the same zeal and passion. And 2 was about maintaining a healthy support system. Excuse me. In one of our very first encounters, I make it a point to talk with each of the graduates and have them introduce themselves, essentially discovering what drives them. It is from this that I obtain a deeper understanding of their character traits. And that's what myself and other lead instructors use to help them cultivate the very best version of themselves that they can achieve. As they share with me, I also share it with them. I share with them what my passions are, what drives me, why a northern transplant who was exposed to excessive use of force at a young age by law enforcement would dedicate his life to instructing and trying to change law enforcement for the better from the inside, which is why I am where I am now. The graduates and I learned from each other, and we discovered that each of us possessed this inner desire to be a role model, to be a leader, to be a counselor, and in some variants, someone that our loved ones could look up to and be proud of. We all had someone that we could literally visualize as we spoke about pushing ourselves to the limit, because that's exactly what was required of each of these graduates. As I told you then, I will tell you now. Use that drive, that passion, that desire, and even the visualization of that loved one to act as your compass. If you find yourself in that sunken place, or unsuspectingly moving away from consistently being the ideal officer or the role model that you envisioned yourself to be, take a moment. Quiet and center yourself so that you can get back to the business of serving and protecting the legacy of law enforcement as well as the communities we serve. Basic law enforcement training is similar to other college curriculums, as it's packed with study guides and handouts and projects and tests and even homework. I don't know if all instructors give homework, but I know a few did, and I just happen to be one of them. For homework, I tasked each graduate to return home and in some form or fashion, completely unprovoked, and with their loved one completely unaware, I wanted them to give heartfelt thanks. I wanted them to thank their loved one and their support system for everything that they have offered, as well as, and will of course undoubtedly continue to offer that support through the course of their career. This is a memorable accomplishment for you all, for you graduates. But I never want us to forget our support system at home, however that looks like for you. In order to succeed and flourish in this career, it is an absolute necessity that you maintain that healthy support system at home. This career that you and I both love knows only what it requires and not necessarily what it demands of us. I'm going to say it one more time. This career that you and I both love knows only what it requires, not necessarily what it demands of us. There are times that duty will call, and we will miss the birthday parties, or Christmas morning, or even date night with the significant other. After all, that's the job, right? We never know when evil will rise its ugly head, and we're called to ride out and confront it. This is why I implore you to be just as vigilant at home in striking that balance between work and family life. For the unavoidable times that we will miss, be sure to be alert and present in the times that you can be there. Never allow your support system to forget or doubt that we don't recognize, value, or are thankful for their understanding and their sacrifice. I will tell you, you have entered one of the most honorable careers that you could have ever chosen. The profession of law enforcement is born out of necessity, and one that will always require vigilance and sacrifice. It is your duty now to honor those that have paved the way for you, as well as those that will follow in your footsteps. And you must do so by serving with impeccable integrity and valiant courage. And you will do this with your daily deeds. So, I give you this task now. Go and be both the figurative and literal thin blue line. That thin blue line that separates the scourge of chaos from the necessary order within our community. Do not take this task lightly. Be assured that the enemy lies around every corner, in every shadow. But don't worry, because you are part of a brotherhood. And that brotherhood stands for something greater. You are true blue now. And as blue, we have and always will hold the line. Thank you.
I did pretty good picking the speaker, didn't I? At this time, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. A couple of weeks ago, I asked a class to nominate a class speaker for our graduation, and the class selected who ended up being our class leader through the program as well. They selected Kevin Powell, Laurinburg PD. Kevin, if you'll come on up.
Good evening. Ladies, gentlemen, family, fellow cadets. Before I get started on this very, very short speech, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me this opportunity to be here tonight, for blessing me with all the tools necessary to make it through this program. For without Him, none of us would be here tonight. Today not only marks the end of our rigorous training, but also the beginning of our solemn commitment to serve and protect. We stand here united with a common purpose, ready to uphold the law and ensure the safety of our communities. I want to acknowledge the incredible dedication of our hard work of my fellow cadets. Each one of you has shown remarkable strength and perseverance. Together, we have faced challenges that has tested our limits. These experiences not only trained us to be officers, they brought us together, creating bonds forged in the fire of shared adversity. Let us not forget the moments that enlightened us, the experiences, and the unexpected fun that we shared, which kept us motivated and reminded us why we started this journey in the first place. As we step forward into our careers, let us carry forward not only the skills, but the memories that we have gained together, as well as the laughter and teamwork that got us through. Let these memories remind us that at the heart of law enforcement is not just a duty and responsibility, but also the humanity and community. In addition, I want to reflect the unique spirit of our group. We've supported each other through every trial, celebrated each other's success, and pushed through the toughest days together. Coming together as one unit has been our greatest strength. It is what will define our approach to law enforcement, a deep-seated commitment to teamwork and mutual respect, qualities that are indispensable in our line of work. Lastly, as we look into the future, let us remain lifelong learners. The world around us is constantly changing, and so must our strategies and methods. Let's commit to adapting, growing, and striving to be better every day, not just for ourselves, but the communities that we serve. We will be called on to defend the defenseless, to keep order in chaos, and will be viewed as a safeguard to citizens' rights and liberties. With this great responsibility also comes great courage. There will be times that we put ourselves in harm's way to protect others, but our training has prepared us physically and mentally for those demanding situations. Always remember, when we're on or off duty, our greatest weapon is our integrity, discernment, and commitment to uphold the law fairly for all. Before I close, I'd like to say thank you to all the instructors here who helped us get through this class and this journey. It was a long 18 weeks, but we finally made it here. Thank you to our families that made sacrifices through the last 18 weeks so that we could focus on our classes. And especially thank you to Director Thomas for providing us everything in class that we needed to be successful. We are ready to serve and make a difference in our community. Thank you all, and God bless you.
I do this every time. First, let me introduce who I am. My name is Keith Thomas. I'm the Director of Law Enforcement Training for Richmond Community College. And I want to tell you that I took this job. I retired out of South Carolina, and I took this job because I still had something to give, and I wanted to make an impact on the next generation of law enforcement. And my goal going into this class is to pour everything I got into the class, show them compassion when it needs, show them firmness when they need it, and sometimes kick them in the rear end when they need it. I got to do more than that this time, so I just want everyone to understand what these cadets have had to go through. We started with 17 cadets in this program. This is a rigorous program, and that's by design. Everybody can't do this job. We lost some from injury, and I'm proud to report they're coming back for the next class. We lost some to academic failures, and we lost one because just didn't match up with what the goals and the core values of law enforcement requires. These cadets did 713 hours of classroom time, but I submit to you they probably had 700 hours of study time too. This course is 36 classes in one. So they took 36 tests while they were here, and they had to pass every one of them. They also had to pass a rigorous physical fitness requirements, which I'm happy to say they all passed, and they were required to do 33 hours of PT sessions, 33 one-hour sessions throughout the program. And the goal is to leave better than you came, and I submit to you that's what we did. So throughout the program, I assigned a videographer in the class to record sort of what they went through during this program. In just a second, we're going to watch that video. But I just want to say, I don't want to forget to say this, that I'm very proud of y'all. It was sad when we lost somebody, especially the injury. And I know that they'll be back. But I'm very, very proud of what you did to get through this program, because it's not easy. For that, I tip my hat to you. All right, we'll be watching a video on the big screen. This is not all that we went through, but you'll get get an idea of what all we did while they were here.
A policeman is a composite of what all men are, I guess, a mingling of saint and sinner, dust and deity. He of all men is at once the most needed and the most wanted, a strangely nameless creature who is sir to his face and pig or worse behind his back.
All at once, you lost your first name. You're a cop, a flatfoot, a bull. John Law, you're the fuzz, the heat, you're poison, you're trouble, you're bad news. They call you everything, but never a policeman.
A police department is they're just humans. Right? They're imperfect. They need training. They need funding. They need support. Right now, they need morale and they need people.
Whatever your job is, imagine doing it with people throwing rocks at you, people spitting on you, people trying to kill you. And then think about what their job description is. Their job description, these people in uniform, is putting your life on the line every day for strangers.
The policeman must be a minister, a social worker, a diplomat, a tough guy, and a gentleman. He must be first to an accident, infallible with a diagnosis. He must be able to start breathing, stop bleeding, tie splints, and above all, be sure the victim goes home without a limp.
Chasing psychopathic 15-year-olds down blind, dark alleys knowing they have a gun, but they don't yet have a conscience.
There may even be the ultimate sacrifice. Men may be killed for the cause, but that cause must be just. And that cause must, even in death, benefit those who may have to give that last full measure. And that may sound impossible, actually, because how can anyone benefit from their own death? And the answer is actually quite simple. They do so to provide safety and security where their families live.
I'm not talking about what makes you happy. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It might require sacrifice.
Being a policeman is an endless, glamorous, thankless job that's got to be done. I know it too, and I'm damn glad to be one of them.
Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. How can we love our country and not love our countrymen? And loving them, reach out a hand when they fall, heal them when they're sick, so they will be equal in fact and not just in theory.
What kind of person takes that job? I don't understand it. I've never understood it. I've worked with them. I've played ball with them. I've drunk beer with them. I've laughed with them. I've cried with them. I've celebrated with them, and I've suffered with them. But I have never, for a single moment, understood them.
Each new day will bring a new opportunity to save a life or to make a difference in someone else's life. You will be a hero as you show compassion to someone on the worst day of their life. You will be a role model for young children. Those blue lights will be a welcome sight to a stranded motorist on the side of the road. Please know that you will have a tremendous impact on the public you serve if you remain consistent, principled, and fair. If you do these things, I promise you, yes, you will make a difference.
During the course of the program, there are several practical exercises that are required to graduate the program, and we recognize the cadet that performs those practical exercises at the top level. So at this time I need some help. So can I get Dustin McQueen and Scott Waters to come up. While they're coming up, I want to say for the QAs that are here, Ephraim, if you can help us as well. Ephraim Scott and Dustin and Ronnie Brigman, who I don't think Ronnie's here. He had to work tonight. They're only a phone call away. These guys have full-time jobs, and if I ever call them and need them for anything, they drop what they're doing to come help. They were involved with this program before I got here, and I just appreciate them giving me opportunity to show them that I wanted to do right by this program. So I appreciate it. So the first award that we will be recognizing tonight will be the Marksman Award. Ephraim, if y'all can come up. This is one on the very far end. And before I present this, also, I don't want to forget the instructors. These instructors burn their vacation time to actually come and teach our cadets. So it's a huge commitment for them to burn their vacation time that they could use to go on trips or whatever, but they come here and dedicate their time to the cadets. So I really appreciate the dedication that they have shown to this program as well. The Marksmanship Award for BLET Class 16, to win this award, there's several qualification courses on the firing range. And the way the score is calculated, I add all of the qualification scores together and then divide them, and whoever has the highest total score for their qualification would be the winner of this award. The 2024 BLET Class 16 Marksmanship Award is Chris Winfield.
Good afternoon. I'm Dustin McQueen. I'm one of the PT instructors for the BLET class. The next award that we're going to give is going to be the Physical Fitness Award. Physical Fitness Award is based off of their POPAT, which is the Police Officer Physical Abilities Test, the time that it took them to do it. They have to do it, there's two separate scenarios. They have to do the first scenario in under 6 minutes, second scenario in under 3 minutes. All of them obviously passed, but there was one person specifically that did it in the fastest amount of time. This award not only is because of that, but it's also because of their effort throughout the entire training program. The person that showed the most commitment and showed the most grit during all the PT sessions that they had to endure. So for this year's Physical Fitness Award for BLET 16, Kevin Powell.
The next award that we'll be recognizing is the highest GPA, grade point average, for the entire class. I told y'all that there was 36 tests throughout the program, and we had 2 cadets that finished within I think it's 0.4 tenths from first to second. But this ain't T-ball. Everybody don't get a trophy. I've already told them that earlier today. But I had 5 cadets that had a GPA above 90 for 36 tests. That's putting some work together to make that happen. These tests are not easy, and their study habits really shine when they took a test. The BLET 16 highest GPA award, Andrew Priest Chavis. The best overall cadet. This award is really about what you would want an officer to look like when they came to your house. Throughout the program, this individual gave everything he had, was respectful to everyone, made sure that each cadet had what they needed, and really cared about the group as a whole. It isn't the fastest runner, it isn't the highest GPA. It's more about how you treat people, and how you treat your instructors, how you treat the staff, and how you treat people in general. BLET 16 Best Overall Cadet, Kevin Powell. As he's coming up, Kevin was the class leader as well, so I gave him tasks to do almost every day. So he not only did he have to do the work at hand, but he also had to do the work that I gave him. So he was the extension of me. Short story, we had driving training, and it was like 140 degrees out there on the asphalt, and we were there 12 and 13 hours each day. Well, the day after we get done with driving, every mark they put on our cars, they have to get off by washing them and taking a magic eraser and scrubbing them out. Well, Kevin couldn't even hold his head up, but he was out there trying to help, and I had to make him go home before I ended up having to take him to the hospital. So that's the dedication that he showed throughout this program. So, congratulations. All right, Mr. President, it's that time. Make sure it's open. All right. Cadets, on your feet. Right face. Forward march. Sorry, Doc. Samaj Jermaine Bethay. Jonathan Rizzo Meredith. Kevin Matthew Powell. Blake Andrew Priest Chavis. Austin Blake Stevenson. Christopher Wayne Thomas. Chris Michael Winfield. Kayla Nicole Wright. And lastly, I challenge each of you to go into your communities and make a difference every day that you work. It doesn't have to be a life-saving difference. It just needs to be a difference. And good things will happen within your department and your community. Cadets on your feet. Left face, forward march. The cadets will be in the lobby for photo ops and for your congratulations. Thank you.